And last story. Let's hear Vinolf and the worm you suggest. There once took place an expedition of discoverer who wanted to find new lands in the eastern seas. As he and his crew entered the uncharted waters, all of a sudden a storm approached, which was so fierce that it completely destroyed the ship, and all members of the crew drowned in the depths of the ocean, except one. His name was Vinolf, and he was an ambitious young sailor. He had thought that he'd become rich and famous if he participated in such an adventure should they indeed discover new lands, but this was not to happen. He was lucky anyway, because it seemed that Barbarous had an eye on him. He was washed on the shore of a small, yet unknown isle. Vinolf's only possibility to survive was to make the isle his home and hope that he somehow would be saved one day. But years passed by and his hopes seemed in vain, and though there had been people on the island before him, no doubt, as in one of the small caves he discovered whole rooms full of strange coins of gold, goblets and plates made of silver, and necklaces with the brightest jewels he had ever seen. Probably all these valuables were treasures gathered by pirates, forgotten in the meantime, as nobody came ever back to add or take from the riches. Alas, all these things were of no use to Vinolf, and in the long years he lived in the island he forgot about all these treasures. Then one day, more than 2 decades had passed in the meantime, a ship came off course in a storm, and by sheer luck found Vinolf on his island, now barely recognizable as a human. It is said that he didn't even know anymore how to speak, and had to learn many things anew. But he returned home, and he was happy. Vinolf had changed. He had become a humble man, who had learned the value of the blessings of a simple fire, fresh meat, a bit of cheese, and what it meant to have friends. He felt in heaven, until the day when he mentioned in one of his narrations concerning his adventures on the Isle that he had discovered huge treasures down in those caves he had found. And since that day people didn't want to let go of him. Immediately an expedition was planned to retrieve the gold, and this was when Vinolf saw the other side of his friends, the side he was happy to have missed during his time living as a castaway. He saw the greed and the recklessness of the people to gain riches without honoring what they already had, and so he decided to lie to them for their own good. "There's a worm out there guarding these caves," he said, "a vicious worm, who will kill you all when you approach him, and even I barely survived. Don't go there," he begged to his friends, fearing that the wealth would change them to their disadvantage. Treasures are not everything in life. But nobody listened to Vinolf. A ship set out, finally meant to collect the riches, and Vinolf already feared that the crew would take him to task upon returning why they hadn't encountered the worm he had mentioned. But nobody ever returned from this mission. Months later another ship set out to investigate the matter, to defeat the worm, and to return with the riches themselves should something have happened to the other ship. But it returned neither. Also a third ship tried its luck, but suffered the same fate. Well, that's what happened. Nobody can tell what really took place out there in the deep seas, but the people back then agreed that the sailors shouldn't have tried to challenge such a mighty worm, especially as they had been warned repeatedly. But since Vinolf had told his son on his deathbed that there never had been any worm, people don't know anymore what to think. Some call the incidents Vinolf's curse. Others say that Bavarus understood the deep sentiments in Vinolf, and only did what for the goddess seemed her cruel duty. Or were the waters out there just too stormy for all three ships? Was it all just coincidence? Well, the truth we'll never know. And I think that was it. No story now, thanks. Fine then. If you want to hear a story, just let me know and ask for tales. Bye for now, Endolf. End of knots. May Barbaras bless your day. Phew. Speaking in a manly fashion is a bit challenging. Let's talk to Magrin. Talk to Magrin. As you approach the dark-haired woman, she looks up. For a brief moment a friendly smile can be seen on her face. Greetings. Hello to you as well, traveler, the dark-haired woman replies. Welcome in our humble abode. What's your name? My name is Magrin. How are things? Oh, I'm helping Andal with preparing the fish, Magrin says. Work is fine. Our catches are in order, as my husband says. A bit of bad weather lately, but that's about it. The pearls are gone though, but that's nothing new. She sighs. The goddess Bavarus is helping, kind and caring, but her will can change. What exactly is an Evor? It's a fish, of course. What did you think? A chimney stranger? Magrin laughs heartily. Some call him Black Dash. Grows up to half a pet. We wish him quite a lot here in Nepris. We fish him quite a lot here in Nepris. Has quite a large head with dark blue-green on his back, you know. So dark it appears black, and lightens down the sides to white at the belly. But the most important is, there are a lot of them Evors, and they taste good. But don't eat them raw. Tell me more about the goddess Bavarus. Bavarus is the mistress of the sea and the water, and each day we pray for her for a good catch. She gives us our life, and we are thankful for that. We would be naught without her kindness. She's also playful, and when she pleases, and likes to entertain. But Bavarus has many faces. She can also be wild and untamed at times, yes, even cold and deadly. She has bereft many Manthrian sailors of their lives in the last century, but everything has its purpose. We have to live with her, just like she has to live with us. You used to dive for pearls here at the coast? Yes, pearls. Had a lot of pearl divers once here, but the pearls are all gone now. The dwarves don't like that, and we neither. Not good for the trade.